Part 29, Chapter 67, The Dominion. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Blessed be he in whose hands is the dominion, and he is powerful over everything. He who has created death and this life, that he might try you, as to which of you is fairest in action. And he is the Almighty, the forgiving, who created the 7 heavens, one on another. Thou seest not any imperfection in the creation of the merciful. Then return thy sight. Seest thou any flaw? After that, return thy sight twice again, and thy sight will turn about to thee, one that is dazzled, while it is weary. And certainly we have made to appear pleasing the lower heaven with lamps, and we have assigned them things to stone Satans. We have made ready for them the punishment of the blaze, and for those who are ungrateful to their Lord is the punishment of hell. How miserable the homecoming! When they were cast down into it, they would hear it sighing while it is boiling and about to burst forth with rage. As often as a unit of them were cast down into it, the ones who are keepers there ask them, "Had not a warner approached you?" They will say, "Yea, a warner had drawn near to us, but we denied him. And we said, God does not send down anything. You are not but in a great going astray." And they would say, "If we had been hearing or are reasonable, we would not have been companions of the blaze." And they would acknowledge their impiety. Then curse the companions of the blaze. Truly, those who dread their Lord in the unseen, for them is forgiveness and a great compensation. Keep your saying secret or publish it. Truly, he is knowing of what is in your breasts. Would he who has created not know? And he is the subtle, the aware. It is he who has made the earth submissive to you, so walk in its tracks and eat of his provision. To him is the rising. Are you so safe from he who is in the heaven that he will not cause the earth to swallow you up when it spins? Are you so safe from he who is in the heaven that he will not send against you a sandstorm? You will know how my warner has been right. And certainly those who were before them had denied, but how horrible had been my reproach. Have they not considered the birds above them, ones who are spreading and closing their wings? Nothing holds them back but the merciful. Truly, he is seeing of everything. Who is this who would be an army for you to help you other than the merciful? Truly, ones who are ungrateful are not but in delusion. Or who is this who will provide for you if he holds back his provision? Nay, they are resolute, turning in disdain and aversion. Is then whoever walks as one who is prone on his face better guided, or he who walks without fault on a straight path? Say, it is he who has caused you to grow and assigned you the ability to hear, sight, and minds, but you give little thanks. Say, it is he who has made you numerous on the earth, and to him you will be assembled. And they say, when is this promise if you have been ones who are sincere? Say, the knowledge of this is only with God, and I am only a clear warner. But when they have seen the punishment nigh, the faces were to be troubled of those who were ungrateful. And it will be said to them, this is what you had been calling for. Say, have you yourselves considered if God would cause me to perish, and whoever is with me, or have mercy on us, who will grant protection to the ones who are ungrateful from a painful punishment? Say, he is the merciful. We have believed in him, and in him we have put our trust. Then you will know who is he that is clearly gone astray. Say, have you yourselves considered, if it came to be in the morning that your water be sinking into the ground, then who will approach you with assistance? Chapter 68, The Pen. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Noon, by the pen and what they inscribe, Thou art not by the divine blessing of thy Lord one who is possessed, and truly there is for thee certainly compensation, that which is unfailing, and truly thou art of sublime morals. Soon thou wilt perceive, and they will perceive, which of you is the one who was demented. Truly thy Lord, he is greater in knowledge of those who have gone astray from his way, and he is greater in knowledge of ones who are truly guided. Then obey not ones who deny. They wished that thou wouldst compromise with them, and they would compromise with thee. But obey not every worthless swearer, defamer, one who goes about with slander slandering, who delays good, a sinful aggressor, cruel, and after that ignoble, because he has been possessor of wealth and children. When our signs are recounted to him, he said, fables of the ancient ones. We will mark him on the snout. Truly, we tried him as we tried the companions of the garden when they swore an oath that they would pluck fruit in that which is morning. They make no exception by saying, if God wills. Then a visitation from thy Lord visited it while they were ones who sleep. Then coming to be in the morning, it was like a plucked garden, and they called to one another in that which is morning. Set forth in the early morning dawn to your cultivation, if you have been ones who pluck fruit. So they set out, and they were whispering, saying, there will truly not enter it today on you any needy person. And they set forth in the early morning, designing, assuming they were ones having the power. But when they saw it, they said, we are certainly ones who go astray. Nay, we are ones who were deprived. The most moderate of them said, did I not say to you, why glorify you not God? They said, glory be to God our Lord. Truly we have been ones who are unjust. And they came forward to blame one another. They said, oh, woe be to us. Truly we have been ones who are defiant. Perhaps our Lord will cause to exchange for us better than it. Truly we are ones who are avid about our Lord. Thus, this is the punishment of this present life, but the punishment of the world to come is greater if they had been knowing. Truly, for ones who are God-fearing are gardens of bliss with their Lord. Will we make ones who submit as ones who sin? What is the matter with you? How you give judgment? Or have you a book by which you study that you will have in it whatever you specify? Or are there oaths from us, ones that reach through to the day of resurrection, providing that you will have what you yourselves give as judgment? Ask them then which of them will be a guarantor for that. Or have they ascribed associates with God? Then let them approach with their ascribed associates, if they have been ones who are sincere. On a day the great calamity will be uncovered, and they will be called to prostration, but they will not be able to do so. Their sight, that which is humbled, abasement will come over them, and they had before this been called to prostration while they were ones who are healthy. So forsake me with him who denies this discourse. We will draw them on gradually from where they know not, and I will grant indulgence to them. Truly my cunning is sure. Or askest thou of them for a compensation, so that they would be ones who are weighed down from something owed? Or have they knowledge of the unseen with them, so that they write it down? So be thou patient until the determination of thy Lord, and be not like the companion of the fish when he cried out, one who was suppressed by grief. If a divine blessing not follow him one after another from his Lord, he would have been cast forth on the naked shore while he was one who was condemned. But his Lord elected him and made him of the ones who are in accord with morality. It was almost like those who were ungrateful looked at thee sternly with their sight when they heard the remembrance, and they said, he is possessed. It is not but a remembrance to the worlds. Chapter 69. The Reality. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. The reality, what is the reality, and what would cause thee to recognize what the reality is? Thamud and Ad denied the day of disaster. Then, as for Thamud, they were caused to perish by a storm of thunder and lightning. As for Ad, they were caused to perish by a fierce and roaring, raging wind. It compelled against them for 7 uninterrupted nights and 8 days. So thou seest the folk in it laid prostrate, as if they had been uprooted, fallen down date palm trees. Then seest thou of them any ones who endure? Pharaoh and those who drew near before him, and the cities overthrown, were ones of inequity, and they rebelled against the messenger of their Lord. So he took them with a swelling, taking. When the waters became turbulent, we carried you in that which runs on water, that we might make it an admonition for you, and attentive ears would hold on to it. And when the trumpet is blown with one gust, and the earth and the mountains are mounted, then are ground to powder in one grinding. So on that day will have come to pass the reality, and the heaven will be split. For on that day they will be as ones who are frail, and the angels will be at its borders. The throne of your Lord above them will be carried by 8 on that day. That day you will be presented. Your private matters will not be hidden. And as for him who is given his book in his right hand, he will say, Lo, and behold, recite my book. Truly, I thought that I would be one who encounters my reckoning. And he will have a well-pleasing, pleasant life in a magnificent garden, its clusters ones that draw near. Eat and drink wholesomely for what you have done in the past, in the days ones that have gone by. But as for him who is given his book in his left hand, he will say, O would that I had not been given my book, and that I had not been informed of my reckoning. O would that my death had been the end of me. My wealth availed me not. Perished from me is my authority. It will be said, Take him and restrict him. After that, broil him in hellfire, and after that in a chain of the length of 70 cubits, so insert him in it. Truly, he had not been believing in God the sublime, nor did he urge food for the needy. This day he will have no loyal friend here, and no food but foul pus, which none eat but ones of inequity. So I swear an oath by what you perceive and what you perceive not. Truly it is the saying of a generous messenger, and not the saying of a poet. Little do you believe. Nor is it the saying of a soothsayer. Little do you recollect. It is a sending down from the Lord of the worlds. And had he fabricated against us some sayings, truly we would have taken him by the right hand, and then we would have severed his life vein. And there is none of you who would be ones who hinder us from him. And truly it is an admonition to ones who are God-fearing. And we will know that there are among you ones who deny. And truly it will be a regret for ones who are ungrateful. And truly it is the truth of certainty. So glorify the name of thy Lord, the Sublime. Chapter 70. The Stairways of Ascent. In the name of God, the Merciful, the Compassionate. One who supplicates asked for a punishment that will fall on the ones who are ungrateful, for which there will be none to avert from God, the possessor of the stairways of ascent. The angels and the Spirit go up to him on a day whose measure has been 50,000 years. So be patient with a sweet patience. Truly they see it as distant, but we see it as near at hand. On a day the heaven will become as molten copper, and the mountains as wool clusters, and no loyal friend will ask a loyal friend, although they are given sight of them. One who sins would wish that he offer himself as ransom from the punishment of that day by his children and his companion wife and his brother and his relatives who gave him refuge, and whoever is on the earth altogether, so that it might rescue him, No, indeed, truly it is the furnace of hell, removing their scalps, calling those who have drawn back and turned away and gathered wealth and amassed. Truly the human being was created fretful. When the worst afflicted him, he is impatient, and when the good afflicted him, begrudging, except the ones who pray. They are ones who continue with their formal prayers, and those who in their wealth there is a known obligation towards the one who begs and the one who is an outcast, and those who sincerely validate the day of judgment, and ones who are apprehensive of the punishment of their Lord. Truly, as to the punishment of their Lord, there is no one who is safe from it. They are ones who guard their private parts, but not from their spouses or what their right hands possessed. Truly, they are not ones who will be reproached. But whoever would be looking beyond that, they are ones who are turning away. And they who in their trusts and to their compacts are ones who shepherd, and they who their testimony are ones who uphold, and they are watchful of their formal prayers. Those will be in gardens, ones who are honored. What is with those who were ungrateful, ones who run forward, eyes fixed in horror before thee, to the right and the left, tied in knots? Is not every man of them desirous of being caused to enter into a garden of bliss? No, indeed, truly, we have created them out of what they know. So I bear an oath by the Lord of the rising places and the setting places, that we are ones who have the power to substitute better for them, and we are not ones who are outrun. So let them engage in idle talk and play until they encounter the day of theirs that they are promised, the day when they will go forth swiftly from their tombs, as though they had been hurrying to a goal, with their sight that which is humbled. Abasement will come over them. That is the day which they are promised. Chapter 71. Noah. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Truly we sent Noah to his folk, saying, Warn thy folk before a painful punishment approaches them. He said, O my folk, truly I am a clear warner to you. Worship God and be God-fearing of him, and obey me. He may forgive you some of your impieties and postpone for you a term that was determined. Truly, when the term of God drew near, it will not be postponed, if you had been but knowing. He said, My Lord, truly I have called to my folk nighttime and daytime, but my supplication increases not, but their flight. And truly, whenever I have called to them that thou wouldst forgive them, they laid their fingertips over their ears and covered themselves with their garments, and they maintained growing arrogant as they grew arrogant. After that, truly, I called them with openness. After that, I spoke openly to them, kept secret, keeping their secrets, and I said, Ask for forgiveness of your Lord. Truly, he has been a forgiver. He will cause the heaven to send abundant rain to you. He will furnish you relief with wealth and children, and he will assign for you gardens, and will assign for you rivers. What is it with you that you hope not for dignity from God, since he created you in stages? Have you not considered how God created the 7 heavens, one upon another, and he made the moon in them as a light, and made the sun as a light-giving lamp, and God caused you to develop, bringing you forth from the earth. After that, he will cause you to return into it, and bring you out in an expelling. And God made for you the earth as a carpet, that you may tread in it ways through ravines. Noah said, My Lord, truly they rebelled against me. They followed such a one whose wealth and children increase him not, but in loss. And they planned a magnificent plan. And they said, You will by no means forsake your gods, nor will you forsake Wad, nor Soa, nor Yaguth, nor Yoch, nor Nasr. And truly they are going much astray. And thou increasest not ones who are unjust, but in causing them to go astray because of their transgressions. They were drowned and were caused to enter into a fire, and they found not for themselves any helpers other than God. And Noah said, My Lord, allow not even one on the earth from among the ones who are ungrateful. Truly thou, if thou wert to allow them, they would cause thy servants to go astray, and they will but procreate immoral ingrates. My Lord, forgive me and ones who are my parents, and whoever has entered my house as one who believes, and the ones who are male believers, and the ones who are female believers, and increase not the ones who are unjust, but in ruin. Chapter 72. The Jinn. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Say, it was revealed to me that a group of jinn listened to me. They said, Truly we have heard a wondrous recitation. It guides to the right judgment, so we have believed in it, and we will never ascribe partners with our Lord ever. Truly he, exalted be the grandeur of our Lord. He has taken no companion to himself, nor a son, and yet a foolish one among us has been saying an outrageous lie about God. But we truly thought that the humankind nor the jinn would ever say a lie about God, and that there had been men of humankind who would take refuge with the masculine from the jinn, but they increased them in vileness. And they had thought, as you had thought, that God would never raise up anyone. And we stretched towards the heaven. Then we found it filled with stern guards and burning flames, and we had been sitting in position, having the ability to hear, but whoever listens now will find a burning flame watching for him. And we were not informed whether the worst was intended for those who are on earth, or whether their Lord intended for them right-mindedness. There are among us ones who are in accord with morality, and there are among us other than that. We have been of ways differing from one another, and we truly thought that we will never be able to weaken God on the earth, and we will never weaken him by flight. So truly, when we heard the guidance, we have believed in it, and whoever believes in his Lord, he will fear neither meagerness nor vileness. And truly, we are the ones who submit. Among us there are the ones who swerve from justice, and whoever submitted, then those sought right-mindedness. As for the ones who swerve from justice, they have become as firewood for hell. If they had gone straight on the way, we would have satiated them with copious water, so that we try them in it. But whoever turns aside from the remembrance of his Lord, he will dispatch him to a rigorous punishment. Truly, the places of prostration belong to God, so call not to anyone with God. And truly, when the servant of God stood up calling to him, they are about to swarm upon him. Say, Truly I call only to my Lord, and I ascribe no partners with him. Say, Truly I possess not the power to hurt, nor to bring right-mindedness for you. Say, Truly, never would grant me protection from God anyone, and never will I find other than him that which was a haven, unless I be delivering messages from God, his messages. And whoever rebels against God and his messenger, then for him is the fire of hell, ones who will dwell in it forever, eternally. Until when they have seen what they are promised, then they will know who is weaker of ones who help, and fewer in number. Say, I am not informed if what you are promised is near, or if my Lord will assign for it a space of time. He is the one who has knowledge of the unseen, and he discloses not the unseen to anyone but a messenger with whom he is content. Then truly he dispatches in advance of him and from behind him, watching, that he may know that they have expressed the messages of their Lord. He comprehends whatever is with them, and he counts everything with numbers. Chapter 73. The one who is wrapped. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. O thou, the one who is rapt, stand up during the night but for a little part, for half of it, or reduce it a little, or increase it, and chant the Quran, a good chanting, for we will cast on thee a weighty saying. Truly one who begins in the night, it is strongest in impression, and more upright for speech. Truly for thee in the daytime is a lengthy occupation. And remember the name of thy Lord, and devote thyself to him with total devotion. The Lord of the East and of the West, there is no God but he. So take him to thyself as thy trustee, and have patience with what they say, and abandon them with a sweet abandoning. Forsake to me the ones who deny, those imbued with prosperity, and respite them for a little. Truly, with us are shackles and hellfire, and food which sticks in the throat and chokes, and a painful punishment on a day when the earth will tremble and the mountains would become a slipping heap of sand. Truly, we sent you a messenger, one who bears witness to you, as we sent to Pharaoh a messenger. But Pharaoh rebelled against the messenger, so we took him a taking remorselessly. If you were ungrateful, how would you fend off a day that will make the children gray-haired, and the heaven will be that which is split apart from it? His promise would be accomplished. Truly, this is an admonition, so let whoever willed take himself away to his Lord. Truly thy Lord knows that thou standest up for nearly 2/3 of the night time, or a half of it, or a third of it, along with a section of those who are with thee. And God ordains the night time and the daytime. He knew that you would never count it, so he turned towards you in forgiveness. So recite of the Quran as much as was easy. He knew that some of you are sick, and others travel on the earth looking for the grace of God, and others fight in the way of God. So recite of it as much as was easy, and perform the formal prayer, and give the purifying alms, and lend to God a fair loan. For whatever of good you put forward for your souls, you will find the same with God. It is better and a sublime reward. And ask God for forgiveness. Truly God is forgiving, compassionate. Chapter 74. The one who is wrapped in a cloak. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. O thou, the one who has wrapped himself in a cloak, stand up and warn, and magnify thy Lord, and purify thy garments, and abandon defilement, and show grace not to acquire more. And for thy Lord, then have patience. Then, when the horn is sounded, truly that day will be a difficult day, not easy for the ones who are ungrateful. Forsake me alone with him whom I created. I have assigned to him the spreading out of wealth and children, as ones who bear witness, and I have made smooth for him a making smooth. After that, he is desirous that I increase it. No, indeed, he has been stubborn about our signs. I will constrain him with a hard assent. Truly he deliberated and ordained. Perdition to him, how he ordained. After that, perdition to him, how he ordained. After that, he looked on, and after that he frowned and scowled. Then he drew back and grew arrogant, and he said, This is nothing but fabricated from old sorcery. This is nothing but the saying of a mortal. I will scorch him in Saqar. And how will you recognize what Saqar is? It forsakes not, nor causes anything to remain, scorching the mortal. Over it there are 19. We have assigned none but angels to companions of the fire, and we have made the amount of them not but as a test for those who were ungrateful. So those who were given the book are reassured, and those who have believed add to their belief, and will not doubt those who were given the book and the ones who believe. And say, those in whose hearts there is a sickness, and the ones who are ungrateful, What wanted God by this example? Thus God causes to go astray whom he wills, and he guides whom he wills. And none knows the armies of thy Lord but he, and it is not other than a reminder for the mortals. No, indeed, by the moon and the night when it draws back, and the morning when it is polished. Truly, it is one of the greatest of all things as a warner to the mortals, to whomever has willed among you that he go forward or remain behind. Every soul is a pledge for what it earned, but the companions of the right. They will be in gardens, and will demand of one another about the ones who sin. What thrusted you into Saqar? They would say, we had not been of ones who pray formally, and we were not those who fed the needy, and we had been engaging in idle talk along with the ones who engage in idle talk, and we had been denying the day of judgment until the certainty of the hour approached us. Then intercession will not profit them from the ones who are intercessors. Then what is the matter with them that they are ones who turn aside from the admonition as though they had been frightened donkeys running away from a lion? Nay, every man among them wants to be given unrolled scrolls. No, indeed, nay, they fear not the world to come. No, indeed, truly it is an admonition, so let whoever has willed remember it. But they will not remember unless God wills. He is worthy of God consciousness, and he is worthy of granting the forgiveness. Chapter 75. The Resurrection. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. I swear an oath by the day of resurrection, and I swear an oath by the reproachful soul. Assumes the human being that we will never gather his bones? Yea, we are ones who have the power to shape his fingers again. Nay, the human being wants to act immorally in front of him. He asks, what is this day of resurrection? But when their sight will be astonished, and the moon will cause the earth to be swallowed, and the sun and the moon are gathered, the human being will say on that day, where is a place to run away to? No, indeed, there is no refuge. On that day with your Lord will be thy recourse. The human being will be told on that day what he put forward and what he postponed. Nay, the human being is clear evidence against himself. And although he would cast his excuses, impel not thy tongue to hasten it. Truly on us is his amassing and its recitation. But when we recited it, follow its recitation. From us after that is its clear explanation. No, indeed, nay, you love that which hastens away, and forsake the world to come. Faces on that day will be ones that beam, ones that look towards their Lord. And faces on that day will be ones that scowl. They will think that against them is wreaked a crushing calamity. No, indeed, when it reaches the collarbone at death, and it is said, where is one who is a wizard to save me? And he thought it to be his parting, and one leg is intertwined with the other leg. That day he will be driving toward thy Lord, for he established not the true, nor invoked blessings. And he denied and turned away. He went to his people after that, going arrogantly. Woe to thee, and woe to thee. Again, woe to thee, and woe to thee. Assumes the human being that he will be left aimless? Was he not a sperm drop to be emitted in seminal fluid? After that he had been a clot, and he created him and shaped him. Then he made of him two sexes, the male and the female. Is not that one who has the power to give life to the dead? Chapter 76. The Human Being. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Has there approached the human being for a while a long course of time when he would be nothing remembered? Truly, we made the human being of a mingling of seminal fluid, that we may test him. So we made him hearing, seeing. Truly we have guided him on the way, whether he be one who is thankful or unthankful. Truly, we have made ready for ones who are ungrateful chains and yokes and a blaze. Truly, the pious will drink from a cup that had been a mixture of camphor, a spring where the servants of God will drink, causing it to gush forth a great gushing. They live up to their vows, and they fear a day when the worst would be that which flies far and wide. Because they cherish him, they contribute food to one who is needy, and the orphan, and the prisoner of war, saying, "We contribute to you only for the countenance of God. We want no recompense from you, nor any thankfulness. Truly, we fear our Lord on a frowning, inauspicious day." So God would protect them from worse on that day, and would make them find radiancy and joyfulness, and he will give them recompense for their enduring patiently with a garden and silk, and ones who are reclining in it on raised benches. In it they will see neither sun nor excessive cold of the moon. And that which draws near them is its shade, and clusters of grapes to be brought low, a bringing low. And are passed among them receptacles of silver, and goblets that have been of crystal, crystal like silver, and they had calculated a calculating. And they are given to drink in it a cup that had been filled with a mixture of ginger. There is a spring in it named Salsabil, and ones who are immortal youth will circle around them, whom, when you have seen them, you would assume them to be scattered pearls, and when you have seen them, after that, you will have seen bliss and a great dominion. Upon them are garments of fine green silk and brocade, and they will be adorned with bracelets of silver, and their Lord will draw undefiled drink for them. Truly, this has been your recompense. What was thanked has been your endeavoring. Truly, we have sent down to thee the Quran, ascending down successively. So have thou patience for the determination of thy Lord, and obey not any one of them, not the ones who are perverted, nor the ungrateful. And remember thou the name of thy Lord in the early morning and in the eventide. And during the night prostrate thyself to him, and glorify him a lengthy part of the night. Truly these, they love that which hastens away, and they forsake a weighty day behind them. We have created them, and we strengthen their frame, and when we willed, we will substitute their likes with a substitution. Truly, this is an admonition, and whoever willed, he may take away to his Lord. But you will it not unless God wills it, for God has been knowing, wise. He causes to enter whom he wills into his mercy, and the ones who are unjust, he has prepared for them a painful punishment. Chapter 77. The ones who are sent. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. By ones who were sent successively by the storm and raging windstorms, by that which causes vegetation to revive, unfolding, by the ones who separate a separating, by ones who cast a remembrance as excusing or warning. Truly, what you are promised will truly fall. Then, when the stars are obliterated, and when the heaven is cleaved, and when the mountains are scattered to the winds, and when the time is set for the messengers, for which day are these appointed? For the day of decision. And what will cause thee to recognize what the day of decision is? Woe on that day to the ones who deny. Caused we not the ancient ones to perish? After that, we will pursue later generations. Thus we accomplish this with the ones who sin. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. Have we not created you of despicable water? Then we made in it a secure stopping place for unknown measuring, and we measured. How bountiful are the ones who measure. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. Have we not made the earth a place of drawing together the living and the lifeless? We made on it soaring, firm mountains. We satiated you with water of the sweetest kind. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. Set out toward what you have been in it denying. Set out to the shade, possessor of 3 branches, having no shade nor availing you against the flaming. Truly, it will throw up sparks of fire like the palace, as though it was a string of saffron-colored male camels. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. This day they will not speak for themselves, nor will they be given permission so that they make excuses. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. This is the day of decision. We gathered you and the ancient ones. So if you have been cunning, then try to outwit me. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. Truly the ones who are God-fearing will be amidst shade and springs and sweet fruit for which they lust. Eat and drink wholesomely for what you had been doing. Truly we thus give recompense to the ones who are doers of good. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. Eat, take joy for a little, you are ones who sin. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. When it is said, bow down, they bow not down. Woe on that day to the ones who deny. Then in what discourse after this will they believe?